Now, food quality. Here in Northern Nevada, we have a lot of really good choices for buying organic food. I like Trader Joe's, there's Natural Grocers, Smith's has got organic, Raley's, Costco. You can get good priced organic fresh produce from a wide variety of different places. So in the food plan that I'm going to be talking with you about, there's going to be my sprouting blend that I'll get to in a minute, and fresh vegetables, steamed vegetables, and then fruit, fresh and frozen. And the foods that you're going to want to avoid are seeds, pellets, soy, and all kind of junk food. Now, the foods to avoid: seeds, pellets, and soy. One of the main concerns about soy, and I've done extensive research on this, I haven't written and published anything on it yet, but the extensive research that I've done, the big concern about soy is the phytoestrogens. Phytoestrogens are naturally occurring plant-based compounds that are hormone mimickers. Okay, the hormones in a bird's body monitors hundreds of bodily processes. So if you've got these hormone mimickers in there, it's going to throw things all out of balance. And so avoiding soy in all forms, I really would like you to think about doing that. Now, let me talk to you about seeds. Now, this is where I'm going to talk a minute about the omega-3 and the omega-6 essential fatty acids. Now, they're essential, so that means they have to be consumed in the diet every single day because the body cannot make them. But the important thing is the balance. Because typically in birdseed contains sky-high amounts of the omega-6 essential fatty acids. And when I've done research on this, and in February 2017, I wrote and published an article that actually discussed the problems with high levels of omega-6 fatty acids in a bird's diet. According to research, omega-6 fatty acids cause inflammation in the body. And this increased inflammation has been proven to cause a variety of chronic diseases. The non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, that's the fatty liver disease that our birds can get. The cardiovascular disease, obesity, rheumatoid arthritis, and especially anybody with Amazon, since they tend to have a predisposition to becoming arthritic, you really want to consider removing seeds from their diets altogether. So that's the main reason why I stopped feeding seeds a really long time ago. Now, I prepared this chart just to kind of give you an idea of just how nutrient deficient seeds are. So you see the omega-3 to omega-6 ratio. This is the ideal ratio for our birds to eat, a 1-to-4 ratio. So millet has a ratio that's 1 to 17. Safflower seeds, oh my gosh, 1 to 253. Sunflower seeds, 1 to 312. Oh goodness. And the other concern about sunflower seeds is that they contain sucrose. Sugars as sucrose, white sugar, any of that is really bad for us, and it's bad for our birds as well. Also, these are all the essential nutrients that these seeds are deficient in. The vitamins, choline and betaine, and I'll be talking about those in a few minutes because they're very important in avian nutrition. And they're missing 2 essential amino acids, so there's incomplete protein there. And what they contain, they're high in calories, carbohydrates, fats. The few minerals they contain, the magnesium, phosphorus, and potassium, those are readily available in healthier food choices. Now, the one food that's a nut that has the ideal ratio for our birds is walnuts. And right now, that's the only nut that I include in my balanced food plan for our birds. But you're probably thinking, well, what about pellets? My vet tells me to feed my bird pellets. Okay, our avian vets are masters at examining, diagnosing, using blood work, and then treating disease with medications. They do an incredible job at that. Because I'm not a vet, and because I don't use drugs and medications, for decades, for as long as I can remember, I've used food and nutrition to balance things out for myself, my health, my family, my animals, and now my birds. And I actually stopped feeding pellets in 2013 because I had a situation arise with some of my birds, and I realized that they were not providing the nutrition that the marketing told me they were. And I have an alternative for you to feed in place of pellets that I've been feeding for a while, and it works out really well. But essentially, pellets, they're comparable to dry dog or cat food. They don't contain complete protein, and they're missing many essential nutrients that our birds really need to eat daily. So in place of pellets, what I do is I use my sprouting blend, and 2 cups of this, when I cook it and prepare it as a mash, 2 cups of this expands to create between 7 and 8 cups of mash. You'll never see a pellet do that. You're going to soak a pellet, it's going to turn to mush. So this is one way that really helps it be more cost effective. So, but I can provide you the recipe for the mash, and this, how it is right here, my birds like it when it's kind of chunky and fluffy and you can actually see the different ingredients. So this is what it looks like with coming out with 7 cups. And if you want it to be a little more soupy, then you would get the 8 cups out of it. And the good thing about feeding this in place of pellets, it provides your birds complete protein. And in a minute, I'm going to be talking about complete protein and why it is so important. Now, we all were raised thinking that eggs and chicken and meat and fish all have complete protein. Well, in 2013, my editor asked me to do some research and write an article on complete protein from plant-based sources. Well, what I discovered instead is that there is no such thing as a complete protein food. And so the only way that you're going to get complete protein is to combine things in a proper manner. Now, complete protein defined. Protein quality is dependent upon having all the essential amino acids present in the proper proportions. Now, the standard that I use when I formulate my sprouting blend has been set by the Food and Nutrition Board of the Institute of Medicine. They have set amino acid levels for complete protein. These levels have been accepted by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations and the World Health Organization. They're using this to cure malnutrition in underdeveloped countries around the world. So this is the standard that I use when I talk about complete protein. And unless a product is formulated using this standard, it doesn't contain complete protein. According to Louise Bach, and she is an avian vet, and she's written information in the Avian Medicine Principles and Applications, infection always occurs secondary to a situation or circumstance that caused the immune system to become suppressed or compromised. So that's another way of saying that is the quality and type of food a parrot eats has a direct effect on the health or lack of health, on whether it's going to support their immune system or not. Another avian vet, and she actually, Dr. Patricia McWhirter, she actually wrote the entire chapter on avian malnutrition in this veterinary textbook. And a quote from her, avian malnutrition or undernutrition can cause a specific problem or suppress a bird's immune system. So unless a bird receives quality and quantity of nutritional and the nutrients that it needs on a daily basis, malnutrition or undernutrition will be the result. Now, another way to take a look at this when we're talking about our bird's immune system and supporting their immune system, there are 2 common organisms, two common funguses that our birds can get quite easily, aspergillosis and then Candida. They're ubiquitous. This means they are everywhere. I've been able to treat and cure Candida in parrots. I'm working with a couple of cases with aspergillosis right now, and that's proving more challenging. With these 2 organisms being everywhere, the best way that you can keep your bird healthy is to feed a balanced avian food plan that's going to support their immune system and prevent these infections from taking hold. Now, an idea that I would like you to think about, bacteria, fungus, and viruses don't cause infections. Why infections occur is because a weak immune system allows these pathogens to take hold. And it's kind of like you can see, you know, you got a house that has several birds in it. Well, one bird gets sick and nobody else does. That might be because their immune systems are different. They have different needs. That one bird, for some reason, immune system became more weakened, and so it became more susceptible to the pathogens. So the best way to keep your birds healthy is with a balanced food plan. Now, when birds joined my family in '97, I talked to a lot of experienced breeders. I used to belong to both of the bird clubs in SAC. I went over the mountain all the time and was over there. And what the standard was, and I'm calling it the old standard because it wasn't serving the purpose of keeping our birds healthy and well. The old standard was to feed a wide variety of different foods. Now, when you think about that, well, gee, that might sound like a really good idea because we've got our fruits and our vegetables and there's lots of nutrition and all this stuff. But there's one big problem with that. Can anybody guess what that might be? Sugar. Sugar?
Yeah.
Sugar.
It lacks balance. It completely lacks balance. When you feed just a random mix of foods, that equals unbalanced nutrition. So why is balanced nutrition important? Because our birds have got to eat hundreds of nutrients every single day, and these nutrients provide the foundation of your bird's health and welfare and can actually help support everything that's important to you. Your bird's good health, a long lifespan, a solid appetite, and that's the opposite of being a picky eater, because a couple of things that I've learned in my research and that I've seen, picky eating is a learned behavior, but it can also be indicative of some type of nutritional imbalance. Because again, the birds can get addicted to foods just like us when there's unbalanced nutrition at work there. Good solid nutrition and balanced nutrition is the foundation of good behaviors. So if you've got any biting or screaming or that sort of thing, good nutrition is going to help balance that out. And then of course you're going to get beautiful feathers, and then also the balanced nutrition is going to be the foundation for healing those feather destruction habits. Now, this is just, I wanted to try to let you guys have an impression of all the hundreds of nutrients our birds need to eat every day. And I see a couple of you got the deer in the headlights look here, so just calm down. I promise I'm going to make balanced avian nutrition easy for you. But I wanted to show you that these are all the nutrients our birds need. Complete protein, all the antioxidants, trace minerals, the macro minerals, enzymes. Enzymes are, I think, one of the most overlooked nutrients. Enzymes actually support every metabolic process in the bird's body. And without an abundance of enzymes, cellular activity would move so slowly it would not sustain life. When I read that, that just made me really realize, wow, enzymes are really, really important. And sprouts provide the highest source of enzymes. Having a balanced calcium to phosphorus ratio, that's also important for our birds, and then all the vitamins. And then the two things that you guys can provide is fresh filtered water and then vitamin D from full spectrum lighting, not through glass or sunlight.